without further ado.
Bobby Hemmitt.
All right. I guess we can roll that way. Well, you know me. We'll push it as long as we can until they throw us out.
All right.
You know. Yeah.
Want me to
You know
slide?
me now. I'm gonna go.
Slide the mic over.
You know, until they throw us out.
You've been fighting at the pit all weekend.
Huh?
You've been fighting at the pit all weekend.
Yeah, you know. So we throw it out. We're gonna do a long haul. So, you know, try to pull an 8-hour day. I do like I did in LA. I did a 10-hour in LA.
Yeah.
But basically, I keep it at about 6 hours just for, you know.
Spiritual purpose.
I did 7 hours in Houston the other week, one day, and 8 hours the next day, which is very interesting. You know, got a lot of stuff, a lot of bibliography. We got the juice. We empowered with the juice.
All right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's more than fitting. Every now and then I like to revisit this. I like to revisit this particular thing here. We're gonna go into question and answer, but after question and answer, I like to revisit this every 2 years, where they show Osiris throughout the whole Bible. They give the Bible verses where they give you the Osirian thing. So we know we got it on tapes back in the 90s and stuff. But every now and then I like to do that. You know, to taunt the Christians and stuff. What is Osiris doing in your Bible? Hermes in the Bible. In the Bible. So I like to every now and then go back to that type of information. Let us start it off. We will go into a question and answer. And I'll let you know what I'm doing here. Today is Sunday, which is more than fitting because that's Oshun's day. The goddess Oshun. Now, I'm not talking about, make it clear, I'm not talking about Oshun as the Yoruba tradition, although you can learn about Oshun in the Yoruba tradition. I advocate to come out of all traditions, and you don't need to be following nobody. You don't even need to be in no organizations right now. You don't need to be spending no money. You need to give your money to yourself for your own enjoyment. You see what I'm saying? And another thing that's real detrimental at this particular time, because this is going to be a downfall for you people that's got children over 20. If you got children over 20, 25, you really need to seriously think about cutting them loose as far as financial assistance. Because that's going to be, in this war that we got going on, they're going to send all kinds of obstacles to you, you see, to keep you on shutdown and on lockdown. And one way they're going to get to you is through your children. It's bad enough if you got some waterhead kids that's 11 and 13, but that's legal, you got to deal with that. But any of these children and stuff like that, that's a thorn in your side, that's a burden. You know the ones that's cool, that flow with your stuff, and is a doggone attribute, an asset. But all of the liability, you need to cut them loose, because it's not being mean-spirited. What it is telling you, in a spiritual warfare, if they see light rising up, they will send two entities or two or more entities, mainly your family members, to hold you down. And that's the key. Now, I always told you, like one person was saying about your family, what you do with your family. You need to cut family loose. You see what I'm saying? See, this is no Sunday go to meeting, I believe in the children, we believe in family ain't shit. Family ain't shit. Let's say it what it is. Family is fucked up. That's the enemy. That's the people you need to cut loose, is family. This ain't no fucking all civil rights all-star thing here. We're not talking about no family. Those are cliches. They don't hold no water no more. Because you know that the people, and that's the way the spirit does. It attacks you through the people that's very close to you. And that's why you can't go beyond things, because of family members. My point is, when they get in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, that means that these people are adults. In actuality, they're no longer your brother and sister and your siblings. the way the spirit world does, you incarnate and you get reared with a certain amount of social environment around you. And those particular ones act as a nuclear family for your rearing and your nurturing to go to adulthood. Once you become an adult, your spirit has nothing to do with the person that is your family member. This is an illusion. All that is they wrap DNA around you, around the soul, so that you can have an experience during the time of rearing. But once you become an adult, you become your own universe and your own entity. So therefore, these people don't have any relationship to you, and you think you do. You ever notice now, especially people who are spiritual, have you noticed now that you have nothing in common with your family? Some people, you're outsiders, especially the people that's conscious. You're like outsiders. You don't have anything in common with your family members. That is a reason. That is because you are a star child, as they would say, and you only use that unit to incarnate into to raise yourself up on the earth plane. So therefore, these are things that these are things that you need to do at these particular times, especially your children. Those are the ones that's coming, and I'm not talking. You know the ones that's cool. You know the ones that flow a certain way and have a connection with you, because they will always give you one or two children in the family that has a connection with you, and they be spiritual too. But then you will also have, and every now and then you get a whole family that's spiritual, but that's very rare. But most of the time they're at odds. And you don't understand. And you can spend your life trying to appease them and please them, become codependent. You see what I'm saying? All trying to please them. Your mothers, your fathers, or whatever. And this is one of the major things that's going on right now, is based on the family. So that's real key, especially in this war. And another thing also too. The knowledge that you get is for your spiritual aptitude or illumination. This knowledge has nothing to do for you to go back to teach your family members, and then they beat you over the head and you don't understand why they don't get it. It's not for them to get. You see what I'm saying? It's not for them to get. Number two, this information is for your illumination, and why you need to go teach somebody anyway when you're still learning and you're still doing this thing, because it's all research. You see, and that's why I always say I never told anybody to call me a master. I never said anything about following anything. Now going back, so we're dealing with the goddess Oshun, and I'm going to give you the science on that when we get into the particular lecture. This is a semi-altar that I put together because I want you to go and build an altar to Oshun. Her color is yellow and blue, but in most of the time it's yellow, gold basically, and yellow. The story goes that she had a white dress, and she used to wash the dress so much until the dress turned yellow. This book, the Oshun, the elegant deity of wealth, power, and femininity. What's this person's name? D-I-E, I guess that's Deidre Badillo, B-A-D-I-E-D-R-E, B-A-D-J-O. It's this book on Oshun. There's other things like that. I'll get into that. I'm going ahead of myself. I'll get into that as we go along to give you a connection. I got a lot of bibliography, a lot in my head, and what I could get through the airport because I'm, since 9/11 I quit carrying big suitcases. But that's the place you want to get in, get out, and get on with your life. So that's very key. So right now what I'm going to do is we're going to do something different to warm things up. We're going to open up to a question and answer. To question and answer right now for the people. Especially, let's say, some things that's a feedback on the last 2 days that covered in the actual conference. Number one, I have a tape called Music and Melanin that's floating around. It deals with the whole music and melanin thing. I found out another thing also too. No matter how good Motown music is, I found out it was a conspiracy. Motown music is recorded low, it's turned down. I didn't realize this until, and you can't really tell on CDs, you have to get LPs. But I can find artists from the 60s and the early 70s It wasn't on Motown, and their music has a higher pitch. But the Motown stuff was turned down low. That's why, because Barry Gordy and most of the black labels, especially there was, you had VJ and you had a couple other black labels, but then you had, in the 70s, you had black labels that was run by big white labels. But as far as all black labels, you had your VJ Records from Chicago, and you had, those were the two main ones, and Motown. Stax was a white label. White people owned Stax. But it's interesting here that a lot of the mastering at Motown was done with the white recording studios. So they mastered these things. They would purposely turn down the music. So no matter how good the music is, it's turned down low. That is because they didn't want black people to have control over the music. If they didn't want black people who had their own business to have control over what was going on. So what would happen was they would turn down the music low, and there's certain octaves that you don't hear in the actual music. And we go into that whole music and melanin thing. So I notice how I have to always turn up the Motown music when I'm playing, because I got one of the best systems. It's called a Carver with no distortion, but it also has a button that clicks off when the frequency gets too high. It will click off. But all the Motown music, I can turn it all the way up, and the system never clicks off. That's because it's recorded low. You see, that's because it's recorded low. And so my point here is, what does this have to do with anything? It means that in actuality, they know, and that's one of the main keys, that that your particular music and melanin is connected, and that is the key, one of the main keys to melanin, as well as water. We'll get into that particular aspect also. You heard a lot about water the last couple of days. That is one of the key crucial things and key crucial elements to melanin. So right now we're going to open up the floor and get some question and answers going. Then we're going to do and all the, and then we'll gradually get on into the meat. So remember now, questions are answers. So that's how you really get the flow going. Or should I pull libations first? I think I'll do the libations first to get it on the way. Yeah. Let's see here. How I'm going to do this. Okay, I got my juice to spit this. That's the elixir. That's the elixir. Let's see. Now, I got this water. Is there a jug back there? But we don't have anything to pour it in, do we? Give me there's a little bowl back there too. Some kind of bowl. All this is in the kitchen. Give me a little bowl and a jug, and we'll and fill it up with some water, and we'll pour the water. And the reason why I'm saying build this altar, because this altar is a porthole to the next universe. To the next universe. This is her stuff that deals. She deals with yellow. She likes sweets, honey. I got the pound cake on here. I got some candy. I got the peaches, and I got some vanilla wafers. And she deals with all. We'll get into that particular part. She likes. I've been giving her this alcohol, and she's been drinking the hell out of it. So we'll get into all of that on the But like I said, now this has nothing to do with, because most of the people are going to tell you to deal with this, you're going to have to go and join a religion. You don't need to join anything. Nothing. No Babylon, nobody from Nigeria, nobody from the continent, nobody from nowhere has access over you communing to the spirit world. So that's bullshit. You don't have to join none of these religions or nothing, because all remaining systems on the planet are fragmented. They are only a pale shadow of what they used to be. There's no, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. This is spitting, because this is look like some stuff my grandmama and them used to get down with. Yeah, that's cool. My grandmama, I'll tell you about how she hid the turkey under the turkey under the bed Thanksgiving. She was into this hiding shit from us. We was in high school, And then, she was into the hiding things. So she went, my mom, I said, damn, my mom, wasn't there a whole turkey in the oven? My grandma, go under the bed and get the turkey. Damn. She done hid the turkey under the bed. She hides stuff get up, you know. When we get up and all, you know, so she hit the whole turkey. Now she was smart now because she was a thousandaire. Wasn't a millionaire, but she had big money. She was a thousandaire. So, so what we would do, she used to teach school. And we knew that if we go in her room and we find money, it's ours. We should never remember it. So we would rush home from school, tear the damn room up, and try to find money. Then she said, oh yeah, you can't get my money now. She's taking it tied up on a stocking, tied on the bra. But every now and then, you know, she'd forget and she would lose one of the money bras. You lose that money bra, you live in the damn house. So we'd run home from school. I got two brothers, one a year older, one a year younger. And we'd make it home from high school or whatever and try to get in that room and try to hit one of the money bras. But, you know, every now and then when we got that money bra, we was paid. So we ain't never got to worry about it because she got cash. You see what I'm saying and all. So I'm one of the people, fortunately, I'm one of the people that grew up wealthy and ended up my adult life with a vow of poverty. You know, so I did the reverse. Most people come from humble beginnings, you know what I'm saying, and then they raise themselves up. I went the other way around. We had everything. We had money and all that. You see, but if you get that money, bro, you was in the house. You know, in the house and stuff like that. No, so I remember she put that under the bed. She had so much stuff. We used to live by this open field, so down south, and these rats would come up in the house. And so I had a friend that was an expert on catching rats. Friend went to high school with me, and junior high school with me. So he taught me art. Now don't ask me to come catch some fucking rats. So he taught me the art. This nigga was so good he could catch birds in rat traps. That lets you know we gods right there. A nigga can catch a bird in a rat trap. I saw this nigga do this shit. They say a god takes nothing and makes something out of it. Isn't that written in the law that ye are gods? This nigga would catch birds with rat traps. So he taught me the art of catching rats. You see what I'm saying? And he was so good until people would call him all over the town and pay him to come up in there because it's like he'll set a rat trap. As soon as he set it, he'd start catching these rats. So he taught me the art, and I went in my grandma's room and she said, Bobby, she called me every 5 minutes, Bobby, come get the crap. But she'd hid so much food up in the damn room that she had to move them out of that. And that's not, you see, now everything is spiritual. Because I talked about her the last time I was here, because she's back on the earth plane. She died in 1990.
Okay.
But she didn't go anywhere.
Okay.
See, she was a retired school teacher. So she was too vain to say, I'm dead. Oh no, not Miss Irene Shaw. I'm a school teacher.
Okay.
So she was too vain to go on and make the passage over. So she just went to certain family members' house. So she used to drag her feet.
Yeah.
And I talked about this the last time, and the Monday, they buried her on a Sunday. That Monday after everybody left, my mother was in the house by herself. And she heard her dragging the feet. She said, you're going to have to get the hell up out of here. So she went to my brother's, I got a younger brother's house in Boston. And he laughed, yeah, they drowned on my stage. She come in there, cut on the damn TV and shit. And he just got married, and his wife was like, no, damn, this is the house. Let grandma stay, don't fuck her house. She cut on the TV, cut on the fucking stove. You know, this is the spirit now for the people.
Yeah.
And because she wasn't going nowhere. But what he didn't know is his wife's family was into the juju. So she called down to Nichols, South Carolina, which is, I'm from Mullins. Mullins is 6,000 strong. Nichols is about 200 strong. She called the Nichols, and they got a bone man down there. And I said, oh, that's right. The bone man is from Nichols, and she was related to these people. So she called down home, and they told her what to do. So my grandmother had to haul ass. Okay, so I said, well, damn, but we got rid of her. But I didn't know. I said, well, damn, So, and then she showed back up in the fall of the year. I'm like, well, damn, we ain't heard from you since 93. And she said, I was still around. I just learned how to be quiet. Just like the movie Ghost. You ever saw the movie Ghost? And they had to teach him how to go through all this stuff?
Yeah.
Well, this is what she said. I just learned how to be quiet. I'm like, well, damn, okay. And so recently, My brother was fumbling through a lot of papers in his basement and ran up on her obituary. He took that obituary out, and she started raising hell. He put it in the car. She shorted out all his fuse system. He put it in the garage, and the garage door came off the hinges and blew up. This happened in March. And I said, wait a minute, hold on. I said, he said, what you think it is? I said, I know what it is. I said, she cannot take the fact that she's dead. When she see that obituary, she gets mad. You know, I said, but better yet, I'll call a couple of spiritual seers. So I called Kansas, the sister Olivia. I said, well, get it. She got the same thing. Yeah, she don't want to see that obituary because she's, you know, it reminds her that she's dead. And then I called the sister Kimberly in Atlanta. She was like, yeah, that's what she's getting. You know, she said, so she go crazy. And most of these things, these spirits don't know they're dead. In this particular case, they don't want to know they're dead. But I say that because when I asked her the following year, well, what the hell, why you back now? You've been silent all this time. She said, because it's time now to be back. So there's ancestors now that's coming back, and a lot of things that's happening in your life, you don't know and you can't make out what it is. It's ancestors. Especially if you see them in dreams. If you see them in dreams, those are ancestors. And that's the realm where they come. There's a whole book, Dead People in One's Head. There's a book called Demons of the Inner World. Demons of the Inner World. It's an out-of-print book, but you can get it. It's real cheap. It's a paperback book. But they have a whole thing about dead people in one's head. And what this is talking about here is when people die, they go to live in you. That's when you start seeing them in dreams. Why is it you didn't see them? You start seeing them in dreams right after they die. You see, well, right after they die. There's a lot of books coming out on the whole realm of the dead, which they made you scared of. The Western man was the only person in the world that was scared. I got a stigma now, because the last time I was in Detroit one summer, my damn pants was unzipped, and I lectured for damn near 30 minutes, and motherfucker just like. Don't even tell me, so I got a stigma that every time I go, I have to check my shit. Right? These niggas is not gonna tell me. And they just sit there just watching and shit. Tell me my drawers gray or something. You know? So, but anyway, there's a lot of stuff that's coming out on the whole realm of the dead. The realm of the dead. What's that? Yeah, that's true. I got a brother that's younger. He driving the car, and he pass by and see his fucking self walking down the road towards him. So what's happening here is we are all rising to a certain level, but you are thinking you still on this level, and you're rising to another level. You see? Now stick with me, because we got to go into this particular war, because when the war started, I was sleepy as hell. It was like a sedation. It was like I took the blue pill. I was really sleeping. I couldn't understand, and I realized there's two wars going on. There's the spiritual war, we know that, and there's the physical war. We're going to get into that, because Devil Bled talked about the distress signal, and they talked about your boy, what's your boy on the tape? Richard Hoagland. Talked about the distress signal. Well, they were sending a distress signal because they were saying they were losing the spiritual war. We're going to get into all this. We're going to get into all of this type of stuff. So don't let the jokes fool you now. You see, I had to beat a motherfucker up in their ass in Houston. You know, they thinking, I joke and all this kind of thing, but I don't know my shit. Hey, come on with it now. I'm like Malcolm X. Beat them down. That's why I always come with the ammunition. Motherfuckers talk that shit. Y'all come on with it and get beat in the ground. I don't damn lose unless I damn do my research. So sister don't get all bad and jump bad. In Houston. And the spirit said, no, this is how you get them. Because the first thing they'll do, they'll jump bad. Our people are crazy. So they jump bad in the damn audience. And the first thing the conscious people, oh, beloved, sister, brother. No, the spirit said, don't do that. You get nigger on their ass. And it throws them off. And they were like, man, what kind of, because it we got people like that. They would like to disrupt. And I told them, I said, fuck that hoe. I said, just like they said, well, I said, that hoe won't go downtown to them white folks. She could go and then white, you thinking I'm being ignorant. I said, no, but I know niggas. I said, when she go downtown to that university, they'll stand up in the line and she will ask her question with respect, and when the white man don't answer the question, she'll bow out and go back to her seat. She won't raise no hell. I said, because we up in here meeting, niggas gonna get fucked because we don't have a respect for each other. So I said, no, we're gonna beat her ass down. Like I had to beat a nigga down in Buffalo. Like Malcolm X say, beat them down. Why? Because you can't let nobody come, you see what I'm saying, and take your shit around black people, because right now we don't think nothing is authentic. So they think that the white man's stuff is valid. So when she go downtown to the university, or she go around white folks, they got a certain protocol, and niggas don't break that protocol around white folks. Because number one, they don't want to be seen as being uncouth around white people. But with black people, niggas show their ass. You see what I'm saying? So I had to beat, I said, no, the spirit said, beat her down right now. And I beat her down. You see what I'm saying? Right. Didn't matter, you know, it ain't got nothing to do with no male or female. She needed to beat down because she gonna jump up in the middle of the shit. Answer me, damn it! I done answered the woman 5 times. And the girl said, well, I said, look, I done answered this woman 5 times on what she wanna hear. And I said, not once, and I gave her 10 books. And not once that she was there writing down a book. I said, that goddamn bitch is not trying to know. She want to show her ass. It's like see people else say. Sometimes that people, niggas get mad because they be thinking in their minds, how come I don't know this? Exactly. So they get mad that they can be a person 30, 40, 50, 20, and don't know something, and they're getting frustrated with themselves and being ignorant, so they want to goddamn level you. We got some real psychological shit going on here. You see what I'm saying? So she had to get the beat down. It's like a nigga come up in Buffalo. He called himself a preacher. I said, nigga. I told him to suck my dick. He put him in shock. He was suddenly gonna be preaching. But see, I came and I'm dropping all this. So when I started off, I had all this bibliography and all these big words and all these books and all this stuff, and I was getting with all this, and I had all this bibliography. And he gonna jump up like that, see, like he gonna challenge me on that level. Say, this guy is an intellectual. He's not gonna get ignorant at me. I said, you fuck around and get killed up in here. And the whole time, I'm looking at something and put him in shock. Now, I tell you why I do that. Because the government sends people into these black forums to disrupt. So they know if they can disrupt the energy, it throw the whole forum off. So when I was in Houston, I went to Houston in 2000, they said, well, there's a woman that comes to all the lectures and doing question and answers. She puts all of the speakers into a frenzy, and she throws them off because she asks all these questions, and then she just takes over the lecture and just disregard everybody else's question and answer, and she goes at the speakers, and she just be saying all this stuff and just taking over the shit, disrupting. She got problems with everything. I said, she ain't. I said, this woman is a government agent. Yeah. So when I was there in 2000, the woman showed up to the lecture. And so we did the election at the question and answer. She stood up, well, I got a problem with this. I was like, I don't give a shit. I beat her down so bad. They said, you know, she been coming to these lectures ever since, and she don't see a damn thing. So obviously she went back in the damn to the agency. They were like, we got to do this another way. Your cover is blown. To the agency, so your cover is blown. You see, so don't get me wrong, ain't nothing uncool. I've been doing this for 11 years now, and I know the game that's going down. They will send certain people to disrupt. Right. And it's a government thing. You see, we had 3 conferences in Atlanta, and every time some drunk man or white man stagger into the thing, drunk. And first you say, oh, he's a drunk white man. He don't know what this is. But they did it one year, the next year another drunk man come, the next year another drunk man come. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This some government agent shit. 3 years in a row, different drunk white man comes up in here. You see, they send things like that, but even if it don't work, they disrupt certain energy. So you got certain people to come up and disrupt energy. So when they disrupt the energy, you got to damn take that sword and cut their head off. You see what I'm saying? So don't let nobody fool you. This is scholarship to the utmost. You see, so we're bringing advanced knowledge, putting it on a layman's terms. And you do that with a few curse words here, a few jokes here. You see what I'm saying? That's shock. Don't fool yourself now. I ain't no damn fool comedian that don't know nothing.
Right.
You get slayed fucking with me. Alright now.
Sure, you're right.
Let's go. Let's go to the question and answer. And we're not talking about you in here. I'm saying that to the government agents.
Right.
But this keep becoming more and more prevalent. Somebody coming up, they got problems with shit.
Did you pull libation?
And I'm getting ready to do that right now. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, but that's why I say that. Now, let's pour the libations and get this thing on. We start with the Apollo, and, damn, you don't have, there ain't no blackboard here, is it?
I can get it. I have one about half hour.
For half hour, cool. That's good. That's enough. That's good. Okay, let's pour the libations and get this thing on. I'll do about 1 or 2 of these. We got water in here, so this is symbolic. Zarabanda, Zarabanda, Zarabanda. I say. All right. El Cristo Negro. I say, la Santísima Muerte. Las Churches in Tranquilas. San Simón. Santísima Pedro Ima. El Cristo Rey. Madre de la Luna. Madre de Agua. La Santísima Pedro Ima. Francisco Luis Pichirreo. Mama Sholo. Mama Sholo. Oticha. Tiecha. Sheola. Omagumu. Shumala. Oshun. Bibina. Oya. Olokunu. Alcala, Owalinsu, Katambo, Locayo. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute. Y'all bear with me. All right. Got a few we gotta get with to get this thing right. Okay. Lavado, 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 Laamu, Lamu, Luigi, Atma, Olivado, Papa, Ogawadi, Leoa, Odubo, Buasta, Amati, Olawage, Olawage. Okay, all right, let's see here. Let's keep on going. Okay. Osea, Aset, Heru, Heruaha, Hasepi, Azert, Palu, Shakti, Shiva, Vetra, Hana, Vishnu, Ramanatu, Kim, Kimabis, Mil, Milabis, Montu, Satis, Septic, Sashet, Celtic, Tahudi, Anubis, Levitt, Al, Bal, Butcher, the Doom, Mamu, Asa, Tayama, Astarte. It's Astarte because the day is Easter, and that's coming from Astarte. Now remember, we're going to deal with Astarte, Ishtar. That's what it is. Astarte, Ishtar, and Anana, all the same, and Oshun, all the same complex. Ishtar, Anana, Aphrodite, Oshun, Psyche, Jason, Medea, Perseus, Apollo, Archithna. Remember Archithna. Very key. Titan, Leviathan, Leviathan, Relich, Lilith, Lilitu, Lilu, Absu, Kamsu, Nitusira, Nikasatan, Ramanatu, Metatron, Metrinet, Melchizedek, Sute, Sunesti, Sutlubi, Suthar, Best, Tistira, Kim, Kimu, Terra, Sri Lakshmi, Eros, Aphrodite, Hermes, Hermanubis, Gaia, Ovinos, Dionysus, Bacchus, Butches, Saturn, Mayat, Mescanet, Hetheru, Sophis, Mercury, Selket, Newt, Haddock, Wahar Kuit, Harbar Kuit, Wahar Kuit, Harpacrot, Had, Tab, Ad, Sebet, Sobet, Soccer, Soccerus, Sahu, Sahu, Shem, Peeping. En route. I'm in rock. I'm in Arkansas. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Now, let me get another roll going. Keller, Chopper, Minor, Kimberly, Upper Skeena, Lower Skeena, Doss, Stove. Okay. Let's see. Erzuli. Okay, I want to get one of some of these here too. You can pile this list. This is one of your lists you can pile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which you did a good job. But I want to put some of these down here too. The ones I want to deal with. Okay, Sango, Dave, Agui, Loco, Atisi, Azuli Frida, Azuli Free, Mr. Azuli Nova, Azuli Gray, Creole Loa, Don Petro, TG Rouge, TG P, Melanin P, Similarity Petro, Green Buzz Live, Diane Pickwick, Keith G, Brad, Lucifer, Lola Truck, Azuli Terra, Azuli Gray, Lower Key, Azuli Lee, Azuli Cody, Azuli Kipi, Azuli Boomba, Azumba, okay. Fuel, Congo Naspa, Congo Sabine, Capalo, Manga Dongi, Tango, Boomba, Cheetah, TGZ, TGBB, TG Pizza, Meredith PG, Mungala Muaski, Miss Charlotte, Darafilion. Okay, let's see. Virtua, Dan I. Let's see. Sama, Agnes, Pravati, Sadie, I can go on and on, so let me put it off. All right. Okay, all right. So we got that moving. Feel the energy already?
Yeah, I feel
Yeah. One thing about it here is I've never had a bad lecture in Detroit. And I think because where there's most hardship, the energy is higher. And by Detroit being the only third world country in America, it's higher. Now they talking about Iraqi freedom. I'm like, look at these fucking streets. Iraqi, Detroit. They got the gall to talk about Iraqi freedom. That's mind control at its finest. Iraqi freedom. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, oh, well, some brother calls me, yo, man, I got our brothers and sisters over there, in Iraq, and I say, fuck all them niggas. They all die. You're like, no, man, this nigga here done gone crazy. No. It's time out for black people not using their minds. You understand what I'm saying? You can't get a damn nigga to come out to do nothing when it comes to black. But a white man can tell them to go over there and fight another black man, and they'll go without question. So no, we don't need to support. I don't even need to support this stuff. Now, we're 2003. So I don't need to support nobody who don't have some reserve from going around this doggone world fighting for this cracker.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Now, they had 2 million white people in Britain. No, 1 million white people in Britain turn out for a march to oppose the war. You know how much of them? Can you imagine what 1 million people look like to oppose the war? White people. You got France, you got Germany. You know what I'm saying? Where else was the other one? Russia. You got white folks that oppose the war, and Negroes don't have nothing to say. The hell with Negroes. You see what I'm saying? And we talk, oh yeah, you know, our boys, no, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? So good they got the little black girl back, they got shot in the foot. They nothing noble about that. You see what I'm saying? We got to start thinking like a world-class people on another high level. That means that what you got is you got total deterioration. We don't stand for nothing no more. When white people got a bigger voice about this. You see what I'm saying? And 75% of the people who fought on the front line were black. And the distress signal was also they lost 3 times more than what they paid they lost. You see what I'm saying? You know that this thing was a trap from the get-go because they never showed no black soldiers going to war. Every time you see soldiers going to war, it's all these little white kids. But we know, you go to Texas, you go to Georgia, they got whole towns where nothing but black people go to the army. Know what I'm saying? You see, now, my point here is, that was great. Some people benefited from going to the service because the simple fact, They got to go around the world when people who went to college can't afford to go around the world.
Right.
It takes money to travel. So that was a benefit, you know what I'm saying, for brothers and sisters and all. But my point here was, when they had that last Gulf War, the one in 91, that was a signal to tell black people, you need to leave that alone. Because these crackers can up and wake up one morning, and the next day you'll be over some other place fighting for them. So my point here is, that was beneficial, you see what I'm saying, for people to go in there for a career just to get away from the house, just to see something outside of Detroit. You see what I'm saying? But my point here is, you can't be making this mistake now. So to hell with this thing here, this Iraqi freedom and all this time, and you concerned about a nigga going over there fighting, because that same nigga will go to Africa.
Yes. Yes.
And they already done made the movie with Bruce Willis.
Ready.
What's the name of that movie?
Rising Sun.
Right, is it already, it came out already?
Yeah.
About Bruce Willis fighting in Nigeria against the evil Nigeria regime. And the only thing that, the only thing that makes one of these things evil is the government say, okay now, we got a new enemy, put it on the news. Yeah. This person is evil warlord. Next thing you know, up in Nigeria. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And Negroes will go. So we don't need to buy into this sentimental shit. Ain't no Iraqi freedom. They bombed these people into the Stone Age 10 years ago. They starved them for 10 years. Wait a minute. Oh, you gonna starve a person for 10 years? And then you gonna tell me you trying to free them? You care about a person now? You starved these people for 10 fucking years. You killed men, women, and babies 10 years ago. You starved them for 10 years. Now all of a sudden now you concerned? Iraqi freedom? And I'm supposed to buy this shit?
And the 700 million they found yesterday.
700 million what?
Dollars.
Oh, they did? Oh, see? Yeah.
In one of Saddam's palaces.
Right. Now this is key. We're going to get into all of that. They starved for 10 years. Then in February, they give Korea over $1 billion in food aid. Now, Saddam Hussein and them don't have nuclear capability. They have the potential of nuclear capability. And they go to war with them.
Right.
Korea has nuclear capability, talk shit during Christmas, and they give them $1 billion in food. This crap was so bad, they put it right on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, New York Times, everything reported. $1 billion in food aid. These are the same people that they're concerned about. Now, they starved my man for 10 years. Yeah. They gave Korea over $1 billion worth of food aid in the middle of February. You see. Huh? This is the game. Now this is the game, you better learn this, right now. The enemy don't lie some of the time. The enemy lies all of the time. Now, these things are not about no nuclear capability. They're not about no war. It's not about none of that. The head of Korea is friends with Bush, just like Saddam Hussein is friends with Bush. You want to find Saddam Hussein? That nigga was gone a month before the shit even went down. He probably in the doggone White House talking about, I had my milk on this, my name on this milk carton. Who done drunk my milk? Go get the movie, Wag the Dog.
Wag the dog.
They tell you any war that's gonna come on, it's gonna be brought to you by NBC, CNN, or whatever. So all that, you can't go with none of that. Korea is a part of the United States government, and they tell their leaders what to do. This is how the game goes. If you don't know the game, because we got to understand. And another thing too, quit attributing anything that is done based on policy to George Bush. George Bush's job is about as important as yours. He has a boss, just like you do. If you don't know the game, the cult technology of power, which is the Illuminati handbooks, tells you that our ability to exist is to remain anonymous. Yes. Anybody that we put before you is not running things. So when you see the person in Korea, that is not the person who's dictating policy And Saddam Hussein, all of them on the payroll. You got to understand this.
Found the money.
So the reason why they gave them food aid and stuff, because Korea and all of them is down with this thing. They got to have enemies. You see what I'm saying? So that's one reason why niggas ought to grow up and not go fight wars. You're going to kill yourself over something that's not even real. Your man told you the other day that he said that the shit was fake. It's a sham. And he said what? He said Saddam Hussein is in with it. We've been knowing this for years. They had some movie out a couple of years ago that said, yeah, they got Saddam Hussein. Bush calls him up, or the president called him up and said, I think it's time for you to blow up and get funky so we can go over and fight a war. You understand? That's how this thing is. But it has nothing to do with oil. That's another thing. Listen, people. You got to start thinking on an advanced level. If it's logical, rational, and it fits in the paradigm of what you think it is, throw it out. There's always something else. The first thing they teach the neophyte in the mystery schools is never accept the apparent. What is logical and apparent is something else behind that. This is a spiritual war.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with oil. It has nothing to do with nothing that they're giving you, because they bombed them into the Stone Ages 10 years ago. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about a spiritual war, and we're going to get to the crux of this so you can understand what's going down. And this is about you. Everybody know Arab? It's about you. You. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand. Bush has nothing to do with it. This man was an idiot a year ago, 2 years ago.
Crackhead.
Then all of a sudden, after the building blows up, he becomes the smartest man on the planet. This man went from not even being able to speak, right after he won the election, to being a great orator after 9/11. See what I'm coming from? So you got to understand what's going down. Let's go into a question and answer right quick. Recap. Got any questions? Anybody got any questions? What's that? Yeah. Yeah. The distress has nothing, but two things. The distress has nothing to do with the physical war. Ultimately, the distress has to do with a spiritual warfare. They were supposed to go in that area and try to shut down certain things spiritually. The distress was that they lost that. Whatever it was they couldn't contain, and it got greater. We're going to go into that. I'm going ahead of myself. We're going to go into that, and it got greater. Also, the distress could very well be a job well done, because we know that they were supposed to annihilate a certain amount of black soldiers. That's why you never saw them mostly on TV. And that's why they took that puppet out there every day at the end of the day to soothe your mind, the Brigadier General Brooks. You know what I'm saying? The Brigadier General, they got him out there. That's all by design. You see what I'm saying? What's that?
And also, with that same broadcast, can you talk about the sacred geometry?
I'll tell you what. Save the one thing for the, I'm going to go into all of that. The sacred geometry is they got a Sidonia on Mars. Get the book, Monuments of Mars, City on the Edge Forever, Richard Hoagland. That was the white guy that was on the tape the other night. He has a book, Monuments on Mars. And the Sedona complex, which is a sphinx on Mars, when they put the grid, when they transposed it to the actual layout of Baghdad in the city that Saddam built, it was identical as the grid on Mars. That's one aspect. And the god of Mars is also the god of war. That's a form of Horus, Heru. Is also a god of war. Also, what's that, brother?
I was listening to this show called Coast.
Yeah.
They said something about how the airport, the international airport, that had open space supposed to be like the space in Sidonia.
Well, that's the whole thing. The whole complex is Sidonia, the Mars thing and all. So that has a lot to do with it and all. But I'm going to go deeper into that and try to and do the research and try to give you a whole analysis on what it is and lay it down on tape. So give me some more questions. What's that, sister?
In June of 2001. They said they had located Atlantis and it was discovered just below the coast of Cuba.
Yeah, right.
And then the Channel 4 news came out in after 9/11.
Yeah.
This said they had underwater cameras that had shown 6 pyramids and some obelisks that had predated Egypt.
Yes, there's pyramids all over the planet. They say there's 50 pyramids in Iraq under the ground. Hemmitt has 80 that they'll tell you about. This is the mystery on Atlantis. Cuba, Haiti, and all of that area is a part of the sunken Atlantis. You know, Bermuda Triangle. But also the Aegean Sea, which is a part of the sunken Atlantis near Mesopotamia. So what's going on here? The mystery here is it was all one landmass, as Brother Hakeem Bey also told you yesterday. And so, how can you get Atlantis being on one part? They even got Atlantis being near Australia, where they talk about Lemuria. It was all one landmass, and then that one landmass, parts of it sunk. Based on cataclysmic warfare or whatever. And parts of it sunk. So actually, Atlantis is not only near in the east, in the Aegean Sea, they got things, but off the coast of Bimini, as well as in South America, as well as Cuba and all of that. But they found so much artifacts in Cuba, it was unbelievable. In Cuba, that is unbelievable. Which reminds me this. So as a result, they have to open up Cuba because they want to get up in there. So all of a sudden now Cuba is being opened up to the west. A lot of things you can go to Cuba now just about. Not so much with the citizens, but you can get over there. And they're going to have a Yoruba conference in Cuba this year, might I add. But since they opened up Cuba, a lot of books have been coming out. A lot of books has been coming out based on Palo. Palo is the last spiritual system that comes from the Congo, Africa, that has not been miscegenated, amalgamated, and in so many words, raped in the aspect of too many people using it as a religion. So Palo is the last one. We couldn't find anything on Palo before, but one little book, and now all of a sudden these books on Palo is coming out. This is the book on Palo by Baba Raoul Canizares, C-A-N-I-Z-A-R-E-S. C-A-N-I-Z-A-R-E-S. Canizares or Canizares. Baba, B-A-B-A, Raoul, R-A-U-L, Canizares. And it's the book on Palo. This is the strongest stuff left on the planet, is the book on Palo. This other book, Brazilian Palo Primer. All this stuff just got translated in August.
In the TV miniseries Kingpin, his arch rival was the lady who back in Apollo, and she was doing blood rituals and stuff, trying to mess him up on the damn series.
On the series.
Kingpin, you see, so the Palo stuff is coming through. This is Brazilian Palo Primer by Robert Laramie. L-E-L-A-R-E-M-Y. Robert Laramie. This is $4. This is $22. You can get these from 1888 Occult. OCCULT/1. 188 Occult/1. Or the name of the company is called Original Publications. So you can also go to the website of www.originalpub.com. Originalpub.com. Original Publication is the name of the book company. Toll free number 188 OCCULT/1. Yes. And so these are the books that's coming out. And they just translated these books in English in August. And the sister Olivia from Kansas, they sent her some things, and we was able to get these things here immediately in a couple of days. So this is stuff that's coming out from Cuba. And here's another book, How to Use the Powers of Darkness, by
Okay.
Gary Brodsky, B-R-O-D-S-K-Y. Gary Brodsky, How to Use the Powers of Darkness, a book of shadows. And he looked like Kenny Barbarino. This is a white boy. You see, looked like an Italian, but it's a Cuban. But in here is the law. You know, the Yoruba, they used to have, you have your voodoo and have your veves. The veves are these symbols you see they put on the floor, with, you know, the veves that they put on the cornmeal, and they put, the Yorubas had veves too. But what happened is somehow the Africans lost theirs, or somehow it got lost. Well, some of the Africans traveled over to through slavery, and as a result, these veves were preserved in Cuba. So this book has particular veves in it, the lost veves, and it's interesting because I had a big book on veves, a big thick book on about 200-300 veves, sigils, a couple of years ago, but it was all in Spanish. You see, and that's what what's your boy, the one that the one that does the cell cleansers and all that. Lisa Lopez got killed because of him on it. Dr. Sabi. Dr. Sabi was saying that he was over in that area, and they got thousands of books revering the black people, and they think highly of the black man, all in Latin America, but none of this stuff never gets translated into English. So I got a big, thick book on veves. Didn't know what it was because it was all in Spanish. Some of it in Portuguese. You see what I'm saying? So this is one of those books. Where they have the actual veves up in this particular book. It's just interesting how, and that goes to show you why they shut down Cuba in the first place.
Right.
See, the difference between Cuba and Las Vegas was this. Las Vegas was in a desert, but it didn't have any spiritual stuff going on with it. But they had the gambling and the vice and all that. Anytime you got gambling, vice, prostitution, it's very spiritual.
Right.
Anything the church tells you about the be against is very spiritual. You got the damn, anything the church says, don't do, that's the spirit that they're taking out of it.
Right.
Y'all want to challenge me on this yet? Come on with it now. Speak now. Anything they tell you, because there's a science behind that. So, Vegas had the gambling, but they didn't have the spiritual aspect. In Cuba, you got Santeria, you got Europa, you got Santeria, which is the Hispanic comprised form of that. You got Obeah, which is another West African form, and you got Palo. And you got Macumba. So you had all this spiritual stuff going on, and what? They got a whole black civilization in Cuba. So half the crackers that got out in the 80s, the blacks are still there. You see what I'm saying? And so therefore, along with the vice and all that, so we got to shut that down because that's the spiritual porthole. And they was talking about, where they dealt with Palo. They were saying in the late 50s, all you heard was the word Palo, Palo, Palo. Late 50s, early 60s. Now you do the math. Because remember now, any enemy of American government, isn't it interesting that all of the enemies always was America's boys? Wasn't Castro America's
Boy.
boy at first?
He helped.
See what I'm saying? Wasn't Saddam Hussein America's boy at first? Wasn't Bin Laden America's? We don't know what the fuck happened to him. And I just want to know how they can get videotaped so they can't get Bin Laden. You know what I'm saying? He pop up a new videotape, you know, just like a new movie. But they can't get it.
He's at the casino.
She Bin Laden chilling with
the dog.
golf buddies. You see what I'm saying? Now, when I was flying up here, they showed the day that they was pulling down the statue of Saddam Hussein. That same day, somewhere in North Iraq, Saddam Hussein was chilling. But yet, they say the war is over. Now wait a minute, hold on now. See, they playing with your mind. This man went up in there to get Saddam Hussein, dead or alive. Just like they went to get Bin Laden, dead or alive. They in the war, you don't question, where the fuck is Saddam Hussein? My point here is, you're supposed to start a war. I said, no, we're going to fight this war until we find a bone. I mean, you done went against the whole international community.
Right.
To go up in there, and you blow up some buildings, You know what I'm saying? Now we stupid like I said, he gonna be chilling in a restaurant. Whole world is after you and you chilling in a restaurant. And I'm supposed to believe this shit? But I knew when they went up in there, they wasn't gonna get him. That's the object. You're never supposed to, you know, a good enemy like that, how long it take to build a good enemy like that?
Right.
For the government to craft a good enemy to use to kill people? Because the enemy to the United States government is always the American people.
Yes, yes.
Always the American people. You see. So, you know how they can't destroy no damn enemy. You know what I'm saying? They got, you know, he can pop up 10 years later.
Yeah.
And they can make more money off that shit and kill more people.
Right.
And use him for whatever instrument aspect that they want to deal with on this